What can 160 years of experience teach you about the future? A lot, especially when it comes to protecting what matters. At Pacific Life, we've helped people and businesses confidently embrace the future with life insurance, retirement income, and employee benefits. With strategies built on strength and trust, and a promise to be here for you today and tomorrow. Ask a financial professional how Pacific Life can help you today. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York. Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
Wish TV is focused on family and the community and is committed to sharing the stories of those who are making a difference every day. From the All Indiana Podcast Network and Wish TV, this is Behind the Eight Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Behind the Eight. It's our chance to talk with people who make things happen here at Wish TV. You know me, Cody Adams, host of Lifestyle Live and All Indiana and Lifestyle Live at noon. But what you may not know are the people who make all of this work, including our wonderful 4 p.m. producer of All Indiana, Miss Alexi. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So Alexi is a really cool story. She's an Emmy-winning producer. I think that's first and foremost the most important thing to say, because it's hard to win an Emmy, and you did it at an incredibly young age. What was that like, getting an Emmy before a lot of people ever even think about applying for Emmys?
I actually hadn't even thought about submitting any work. It's really crazy. I won the first year working here, and I had just stopped being an intern. So I had just become a full-time producer working here. And I got lucky. I would say I got lucky because we had a really great morning team when I won. I mean, shout out to my director, Lindsay. We wouldn't have won the Emmy without that. But I was 23 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I had been doing this for maybe 8 months full time. It was wild.
Your journey here at Wish TV has been really interesting too. And people who have listened to this show or heard my story, one of the coolest things about this station and Al Carl and Dewan and everybody who runs this place, they put people in positions to succeed at what they're good at.
Oh, yeah.
And you started out on Daybreak.
I did.
And that's a really tough shift anyway, but especially when it comes to producing. What was that like, kind of getting thrown into the fire, so to say, and just kind of having to figure it out as you go? Because you were so young.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will even say, take it a step back further. I started working here almost 3 years ago, and I was an intern. So I was an intern kind of doing everything. I was working at night. I was working in the morning. I was working with people like Scott Sander, who's been in this industry for 25 years, who are like, I know how to do this, so we're going to teach you how to do this. And I don't know, it was I think the best way to learn, and that's something that we really do here, is throwing people into the fire. I mean, you're never going to learn how to handle a live shot or handle breaking news if you don't just do it. I know that sounds silly, but you have to just do it and start doing it and keep doing it. So it's weird. It's
it's stuff you can't learn at school.
No,
right?
You're not going to sit in a classroom and some big famous person dies and you have to get it on television. You're never going to do that in a classroom.
Right. And you went to Butler University.
I did. I'm a Butler grad.
There.
Go Dogs.
Met your husband there.
I did meet my husband there. We just got married, to everyone's surprise.
Significant surprise.
Yes, Cody kept telling people we weren't going to get married. If you don't watch All Indiana, you don't know.
Yeah,
but
I had a belief that it just wasn't going to happen.
Even though it's been 5 years.
Yeah, that's fine. So moving now to All Indiana, explain how that transition worked, because they basically took you from where you were very valuable in the morning and said, wait a second, we see something here. You wanted to do this job and said, I think it would fit perfectly with All Indiana.
So the crazy thing that kind of started was in the mornings, I have a background in entertainment. I actually have, when I was in college, I originally was studying musical theater. I have a big background in entertainment. And so in the mornings, I had started booking these live guests, local places with the IRT or the Phoenix or whoever else. And I was bringing local people in to interview on the morning. And Taylor, our executive producer, kind of noticed that I had a niche for, finding interesting stories and turning them into on-air live interviews. And I was like, I would really like to be doing that full time. So I guess with just the right timing, I was able to transition to more booking interviews and getting that more creative side out. And I really advocated for a spot on the show. I want to book interviews. I want to work with people focused. Producers are very behind the scenes, but the one thing with interviews is you actually get to speak to people out in the community.
Right.
I was very vocal about wanting to do that.
As I hit the microphone there, first time, long time. I'm curious what that transition was like, though, going from working with people like Scott and Hannah and the morning crew, where things are very much like, we've got to nail this down right now, because you're relying on the words of these people and the truth from these people, to more of this style where you're dealing with like myself and Felicia, and we're obviously very off the cuff a lot of times.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely learned a lot from Scott and Hannah and just the whole morning crew. It's definitely a lot more structured in the morning, but when you're first starting out, I think that can be really helpful. It's like, I have this whole other news background of like, okay, well, you have to get it accurate and get it right, but also then we come into like you with Felicia, and I don't know, it just gets more fun. It's like, oh, here are the facts, but also like, feel free to take it where you want. Like, it can get a little weird, is what I like to say. It gets a little weird, a little silly. Like if I'm like, oh, let's practice your cursive skills. That's not something you can do in a news show.
Right.
Like, sure, those people would probably love to do that, but we're not allowed to do that.
I find it really interesting because it was a very seamless transition, and one of the things I noticed as soon as you stepped in was like, and this is going to sound so dumb and cliche, but there was a more youthful injection into the show.
Well, I do happen to be 24.
A child.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I think that was important as well in kind of changing the rationale behind what we were trying to do, and just changing the structure of the show a little bit. And very quickly, like I'm one of those people, as a lot of the listeners know, and as you know, like I'm very nonchalant, go with the flow, but I also want things to play out a certain way, and it takes a long time for me to trust people in that, and it did not take long at all for me to trust your vision for what you wanted us to do, how you wrote teases, headlines, all that stuff.
Sure. Well, I would say too, I think everyone wants to hate on like Gen Z workers, but like the members of Gen Z, I'll speak for us. For those of us who actually want to work, we're really excited about coming in and doing these jobs and putting a new spin on things. And I think something I really saw with All Indiana and our lifestyle department in general is like, I don't know, to get newer and younger viewers while still keeping some of our classic longtime viewers, you have to have a mix of both. You have to bring in like fun new ideas, but like also still appeal to that lifelong audience that we've had. So I was just kind of trying to be like, oh, well, Felicia and Cody are pretty young and hip. Let's put more of that in there, while also keeping with kind of our classic interview style.
Yeah, I think you found a really good mixture of that. And I'm curious, outside of currently, like, let's go back in time. What led you to want to do this in the first place? Because this isn't a career field a lot of times that people are like, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah. My sister wanted me to be a weather person, actually. Oh, yeah. But that was never for me. It really did just all start in the theater. I mean, I was a singer. I was a dancer. I was doing all of that. And I always wanted to be on stage. But I think when I became an adult, I was so used to people being like, oh, you have such a pretty face. Like, you would be great for TV. And I think I took offense to that, almost as if, like, I'm also really intelligent, by the way. Like, I am very intelligent. Like, I did incredibly well in school. I did incredibly well in college. Like, I read several books a week. Like, so I think part of it came from, I don't want to be on TV anymore. Like, I want my work to be my work, and I don't want you to know who's doing it. I want you to think these people with this face, of course they're bringing it to life, but, like, I wrote that, and you don't know it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing I think pushed me into more production and more behind the scenes. I was tired of people being like, oh, you're a pretty face. I want more than that. Please stop.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's hugely important. And I started in production and I've, done my fair share of producing and things like that. And I think it's like, especially in this industry, probably the most thankless job. And it's also like the hardest job. And I think sometimes people, because I get this when I go out, people are like, it's amazing how you can do all these things, or how and while I thank them for that, and it does take a lot of work to figure that out, it's already done. Like, all I have to do is take those words and make them not sound like words. Yeah. And so it's interesting, I think, hearing that perspective of it. Let's talk about Alexi as a human being. What are things that you like to do outside of these building walls?
So right now I'm actually getting my certified personal training license.
Hey.
My dream job would probably be teaching old ladies how to dance.
I love that.
Then writing stories about their lives. So if we're going to do part of that. I'm doing that right now. I'm really into exercise. I'm really into running. I'm actually training for another half marathon. You all saw I ran one and blew my knee out, so I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And just kind of enjoying being married. Cody has told you all, I will keep reminding you that he didn't think I was going to get married, and I did, and I'm very much enjoying it, in case you're wondering.
Good. Well, I think, and that is an important part of this as well, because when you do shows like this, you have to have a relationship with your producer and with your anchors and your hosts and whatever that may be. And I didn't know how that was going to play out. Like, I like to crack jokes. I like to give people a hard time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you don't say.
And understandably, sometimes people get really upset by it, and that is totally fair. Like, I don't lose sight of that. But you played along with the joke, and you played along with the bit, and people would literally stop me and be like, "Leave that poor girl alone." And to an extent, like, for me, I love those bits. I love those things that viewers come in and they know immediately when we start talking about those things that, like, that's a part of the show.
Oh,
and
yes.
So it's fun
I
for me.
went to the Emmys this year, and our very fun co-producer, 5 o'clock producer, Jet, he brought his mom as his date, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're the poor girl who they kept saying wasn't going to get married." Yeah, people, like, really hold on to those bits. I don't know. Life isn't that serious.
It's so fun, though.
Like, we're not performing brain surgery. We're interviewing people and sharing what's going on in the world. I have to laugh about it.
But you play along with that, really, and everybody, most of the people here do. I mean, our production crew is so very chill and understands kind of like where we're coming from in a lot of these things. And
it's a hard industry. If you don't throw some joking into there, some goofing around, we would all just constantly be talking about murder. And I don't really think that's the vibe.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So where are you from? Where'd you grow up? All those fun things.
I'm actually homegrown. I am from here. I graduated from Decatur Central High School. I am from Indianapolis. Grew up right in Indianapolis in the Marion County area in the Donut. My parents still live out in Mooresville with their 2 ridiculous golden retrievers. And I'm still here. I decided to go to Butler. I decided to stay local. And I don't know, this is my life right now. It's good for now. I like it right now.
I'm always curious because when I first started, I was very young as well. I was like 19 when I got my first TV job. Not on air, but working in a television station. And I remember the struggle of finding the balance of I'm still a youthful young adult trying to have an outside life and do all the young adult things, but also build this career that is incredibly demanding of my time and my mental ability and my emotions and all those things. So how do you balance that? What is it that allows you to kind of have the best of both worlds? Or do you?
I would say something that I actually, similar to you, like I had my very first job. I was a reporter. I was an intern reporter for the Indy Star when I was 19 years old. And so like on the weekend, I was going to like breaking news scenes and talking to police. And I think having to do that while I was in college, like really proved to me like what are the things that are important. Like when I leave the building, the nice thing about like our job, when I leave the building, I just unplug. Like I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at the headlines till tomorrow morning, like when I wake up to get ready to go to work. So I think it's just having those boundaries. And it's like, sure, if I see like an important tip, I'm going to like text our manager or I'm going to send it in to somebody important to go see it. But I think just having those boundaries and like realizing like there's so much more going on in the world. Like it's not just my job, like regardless of whatever job it is you do.
That's one of the benefits to me, at least. And I've been doing this now like 17 years. Lifestyle is cool in that, like when you're in hard news,
You're always in that.
And you want, trust me, you want to unplug. It would be so nice when you're in hard news. But all the time. If you're driving with your family to dinner and you see a 4-car accident, you're like, well, I got to stop and get photos and videos. Exactly. And that's what makes the people who do those jobs so incredibly important, and that they are thinking first and foremost about the community, and that's what this station does well. But in lifestyle, we get to just kind of unplug and be ourselves.
That is
and,
the nice
and
thing
chill
that I
a
do
little bit.
like.
Yeah.
Well, and even with like our show that has like a little snippet still of that news stuff. Like we're still doing that too, but it's nowhere near as like a year ago. I was probably reading the headlines as I was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm trying to sleep so I can come in to do a daybreak show. Like it's never ending.
Right. Do you have a favorite memory thus far in your young career outside of winning the Emmy?
Yeah, that was fun. That's a pretty big.
That's a pretty good memory.
That's a pretty big deal. I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness, I know
I put you on the spot a little bit.
I know you put me on the spot. Oh man, I gotta think about it for a second. I did really enjoy recently, Pavel was here on Lifestyle. He's always here. Pavel's one of our regular guests on Lifestyle Live in the morning, and he is always playing music. He's always bringing in mariachi bands. He's always being ridiculous. And so recently he had a big mariachi band on, and like the entire set just jumped in and was dancing, and I feel like that was really fun. Like that's something you don't get to normally do at work. Like I was able to barge onto a set and dance to mariachi music. I don't think people are doing that at their regular 9 to 5.
Well, I think that also is very true to who we are as an office and as a lifestyle crew. Like we are constantly joking, constantly having fun. Sometimes to a fault where you're like, okay, we actually have to buckle down and
Felicia
get some
and
things
I
done.
will start talking about reality TV and it will be never ending.
Yeah.
Like we have to get work done sometimes.
Right. Just a couple more things, then I promise to let you get back to producing the 4 o'clock. When you look at a show, and a lot of times these things are booked out and we know who the guests are going to be and all that, but I'm always curious how you look to format that show. You know, and you mentioned All Indiana, it's a little bit different because we will do some very heavy topics, you know, whether that's an interview about drinking and driving or you know, whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
And then literally a block later, we're talking to a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So how do you mentally like navigate that in figuring out, okay, this is where this makes sense at this point in the show, and this is really where it makes sense at this point of the show, and so is better at this sort of an interview. Like that's all, it's like a puzzle that you're putting together.
Like a puzzle. I will say it was a lot harder in the beginning. I think once you know your people and trust your people to handle certain types of interviews, like I know what things you like. I know what things Felicia likes. I know what things Marley likes. I know when I need to ask our executive producer Taylor to step in and do something as well. Like I am very quick to be like, oh, okay, what do you think? I think so-and-so should do this interview. Who do you think should do this interview? I think it's just knowing your people and knowing their strengths, because like you guys have different strengths, and also you guys do better on certain topics with both of you. Like if I had a comedian coming in, you're both going to talk to the comedian.
Sure.
You both have a background in that. I think you just have to really know your people and also just really trust your people to handle those topics well.
Yeah.
It's like we say, like all good on-air people are able to transition from a dark story to a positive story. I feel like we say that all the time.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a
commercial breaks help.
Commercial breaks help tremendously. Weather helps tremendously. Those sorts of things certainly can help. Yeah. I want to talk a little more personal life. Tell me about your husband, Isaac.
My husband, Isaac, is my best friend. We met almost 5 years ago, actually. Isn't that crazy?
That is a long time.
I know, that is a long time. He's actually finishing up his Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Whoa.
I know. He's going to officially be a doctor in less than 12 months. Isn't
that was a good
crazy?
get. Very smart of you.
Thank you. I locked it
I
down
hope my
very
daughters
early.
marry doctors.
They
That's
should.
my plan.
Lock it down very early.
Yeah.
He's the best person I know, though. Like, genuinely, like, I know he's going to be a doctor, but, like, when I met him, I did not know that. He's just a very kind person. He plays every single instrument you can think of, and he's also 6'5". I mean, I really lucked out here.
Yeah, that's a good get.
Yeah.
Very smart.
We're cat parents. That's our thing. It's us and our cat. Our cat is 6.5 pounds, and my husband is 6'5". Yeah.
That's an odd couple.
It is an odd couple to look at. She stole his sandwich yesterday.
Oh, that would make me so mad.
Clear off the counter. Well, he was so calm about it. That's how I know he's the right person.
Yeah.
He was just like, what are you doing? You can't eat that.
I would
and that
be
was the
so
end of it.
frustrated.
Yeah, he did not care.
That cat would not like life after that.
Well, it's her world. I just live in it.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Give me something before we go that people, I mean, nobody really knows you that well.
No
that's
one
listening to
knows
this.
what my face looks like.
Right.
This is
and you still won't, oddly enough, because this is audio. But tell us something about Alexi that people don't know.
Something about Alexi that people don't know is that I am a very people-focused person. My number one concern when I'm coming into work, my number one concern when I'm doing a show, and my number one concern when I'm working is how are people going to perceive this, and is it going to make someone's day better? But it's my number one thing is other people.
I love that. That's what makes All Indiana so great. And I don't say this to blow smoke. I hope you know this, but I think you are one of the most talented people that I've worked with. I'm so excited to see what your future has, whatever that future looks like, whether it's this career field, a different career field. But like, you are such a driven young human being, and I just love having you around the office. So thanks for making my life a little bit easier most of the time.
Thanks, Cody. It's weird to have you be nice to me.
Yeah,
I'm really uncomfortable now.
I have to do it.
I know.
Thanks for listening to Behind the 8. chatting with Alexi, our 4 o'clock All Indiana producer and Miss Do It All for the lifestyle department. If you love these Behind the 8 interviews, there are a bunch more on the All Indiana Podcast Network. You can find that at wishtv.com or wherever you get your podcasts. I talk to all kinds of people from all different backgrounds here at the station, and you get to learn a little bit more about the people behind the 8 that make things tick here. Thanks for listening. We'll chat with you next time.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Behind the 8 Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at wishtv.com.